Hi, everybody.
Hey guys! It's been a hot minute. There's been things going on.
A lot of things.
A lot of
At least
things.
17 of them. Anyway.
Hold up, wait. Okay, if you know, you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
welcome. There. I promise the H3VR stream is on the way. We'll be doing that tomorrow. Today, I really want to get this kicked off. We are starting development of Ratchet and Clank Hot and Bothered version 4.0 after a 2-year hiatus from the project. I thought I was done with it forever, but I'm back. And I have a shitload. It's been a minute. Of ideas. So we're going to jump straight in. Today is going to be a showcase. It's going to be a chance to answer questions. We're going to talk about ideas. We're going to talk about just random stuff. We're just going to chill. Very calm Sunday stream. And
Calm says, and I'm here.
okay, calm in a relative sense.
Fair.
And we're going to have all modules on display here. We're going to have Bolognese. We're going to have the K-mini map. Everything. So, let's get this party started.
Having all modules on display, I didn't think you could do that on Twitch.
Not what I mean! Okay. Welcome to Kenzie's test map. Don't mind the sound of a Geiger counter over there. So if you've played this mod, you'll recognize that things look a lot brighter. I have reverted to the latest version of Kenzie's test map. I'm going to modify this and make it more suitable to Hot and Bothered. But we're going to come over here, and we're going to start with a nice little weapon showcase. We'll talk about the power-ups later. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to grab all of this junk.
Thanks. Hey, cool. Thanks for the.
We've talked about how these. We've talked about how these work. You grab one, it gives you the next thing in the sequence.
Nice. Hey, cool.
And I'm going to also fill up my nano pack.
Nice.
Get every one of these out of the way.
Item found.
Okay. Also, don't mind that boss health bar at the top. That's something I'll talk about at the end here. So, we have 27 weapons on display. Currently, only 24 are picked up, but I have this lovely thing where I can press the M key, and now I have all the stuff. So, first up is the N60 Storm. This is your starting pistol. If you played Unreal, you might get some dispersion pistol vibes from this. And this is best suitable for small targets. It is an energy pistol.
Yeah, dispersion pistol had a charge-up alt fire, so it's not quite the same
thing. No, but didn't it also pick up a second barrel at a certain point?
No, it actually sprouted a barrel out from between between the folds. No, from between its basically the structure of the dispersion pistol is that it had a split barrel to begin with.
Hmm?
For whatever reason, and I think your first upgrade splits those wider. Second upgrade sprouts a big silver barrel from between those arms.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so this weapon has primary and alt fire. Primary is just auto fire. Alt-fire is as fast as you can pull the trigger, but you lose a ton of accuracy. What I'm planning for this is it's going to start off a little bit slower, just a little bit, and it's going to gain speed with every level. It's also going to do the same thing with spread, so this mode will have a bit of spread as well. And it'll tighten. By V4, it'll be perfectly accurate again. But since enemies aren't going to scale in health by nearly anything at all, like 1% as opposed to 5%, this will not fall into abject uselessness by map 7 anymore.
You say that in the old scaling, the storm was actually quite effective by V3, to the point where it was a fairly reliable main weapon all the way up until you level it into the hurricane. But
speaking of that, let's actually level it up, because the leveling in this is entirely handled through inventory items. When that XP bar fills up, it just gives you a token. I call them level tokens, that indicates the level of the weapon, and that is used to determine how the weapon behaves. So at V3, it fires a little faster, and the projectiles move faster. Projectile speed is also going to be affected. Basically, non-damage stats are going to scale similarly to how damage stats scale now, in that it's going to be drastic. So, imagine this being like a slow-firing plasma rifle at first, where the projectiles move a little faster than you do. But by the time you get to V4, you're basically seeing this. Perfectly accurate, fast as hell projectiles, good fire rate, so on and so forth. Let's...
At that rate, you might as well make them hit. I know you hate hit scans, but at that rate, you might as well make it hit scan at V4.
At that rate, but I also like being able to see the projectile in motion. Like, this is damn near a hit scan.
Well, if you want, you could actually have a projectile that's fast enough to be a hit scan if you set its speed at exactly 8,192 DMU per tick.
Isn't that pretty much as fast as a projectile can go before the engine starts falling apart?
No, it can go faster, but the reason it's at 8,192 is that usually the maximum range of a projectile by default is 8,192 DMU.
That's true. That's true. Same thing with rails.
Yeah, for the uninitiated, DMU stands for Doom Map Units. It's not... I don't know of a direct translation to, like, real-world units of measure.
A single DMU is roughly equivalent to 1¼ inches. You see these tiles here, these untextured surface tiles?
Yeah.
Each of these is 30... I think each of these is 32 DMU. It's either 32 or 16. The player is 56 DMU tall in Vanilla Doom, which translates to about 6 feet tall.
So Doom Guy's actually, as far as I know, Doom Guy's actual height figures were something like, I think he was supposed to be like 5'6".
He was an average dude before he became a Sentinel.
Well, then again, this is before he became a Night Sentinel.
Yeah, this is way before. But anyway, primary fire, explodes on contact. Alt fire, bounces around a little bit. Kind of your standard... The bomb glove is your standard boomer shooter grenade launcher. Plans?
Mandalore 10 said,
Icon.
Smooch is the dag.
Smooch is back. So... Let me put up a screen share for you, so you're in real time.
Yeah.
So the plans for the bomb glove.
Here's Con.
Oh, hey, hon. So again, let's try this from the top. Take 3. Plans for the bomb glove. is bounce count on the alt fire, and also projectile speed are going to change. It's going to be a little bit more limited than this at V1. Like, this is kind of nuts. The fact that I can, at V1, I can stand here, and I think if I angle this right, I can hit that back wall. Not quite.
Almost.
Almost. If I jump, I'm right at the wall. So, this is going to go farther with levels. It might also gain fire rate. I do want the upgrades to be significant. Also, how are you, Con?
Well, Thunder just fucking rocked the place, so I'm okay.
That's fabulous. It's gonna be here
Yes.
later, I'm sure.
Lovely.
Yes. Enjoy.
Another thing, let's give Bomb Glove level Deuce. Currently, this is firing nail bombs when it explodes, and its blast radius is increased. That's going to be retained. That's going to be its way of receiving more damage at V3. But at V4, it starts firing 2 bombs. That's not going to happen in version 4.0. It's just going to be a single bomb. Also, we get to the B6 Obliterator, when we start talking about the super weapons. That currently fires a shotgun spread of bombs. It's going to fire 1 big boy, and that big boy is going to be a dark matter bomb.
So it's losing the incendiary nature.
And picking up a dark matter kablam.
We have also been joined by Aristrada and Raffles.
Welcome in, Buns. Welcome in. I hope y'all are having a fantastic and relaxing Sunday. If I recall right, y'all are also caught in all this lovely, lovely summer weather we're having. I hope it's better for y'all than it is for myself, X, and Con.
I'm back, sorry.
The Combustor. Actually, let me...
Joke.
Hi, Ari, and hi, Belgium.
Make your jokes.
Just make all the jokes you want.
What?
And that Spectre just got annihilated. Combustor. Flare Magnum. That fire sound is probably going to be tamed a little bit for V1, because it is not powerful enough to justify a concussive boom like that. So, this is a fun little weapon. Let's get this one something to shoot. Simple Flare Magnum, fires kinda slow. But watch this. Mild homing. It's not enough that that it's fire and forget. You do have to at least point it at the enemy. But it's enough homing that if you're pointing at the enemy when you pull the trigger, it's going to correct for any motion and still hit the target. This one's probably going to get the least amount of change, because honestly, it's pretty damn good as it is. When I'm playing, when I was doing Annihilation Nation, the campaign for this, yes, named after the arena from Up Your Arsenal, this was my choice of starting weapon, because the way it worked is you would only start with the wrench, and you would have to suffer through to get the first 2 keys with only the wrench, and the first 2 keys would open the way to getting your choice of these first 3 weapons. And the Combustor was my personal favorite, mainly because of its alt fire, not its primary. The primary is nice because of that homing effect, but if you hit the alt fire, you lose that homing, get a much faster projectile that travels at a straight line. Effectively a sniper pistol. So one of the biggest changes is that this is just going to be a quieter weapon at V1. It's probably going to start sounding like this at V3. Actually, no. That wasn't the plan. My plan for the sound of this is that this is going to be the V5 sound. And I'm going to get a smaller gun for it. Because right now, the Magma Buster is gigantic. Because it's using the Devastator graphic. So, fucking
And
rocket
this one's
launcher.
using the blaster graphic from RC1.
Yeah, they're both using RC1 graphics, so there is a consistency to them. But the Devastator is huge. Obviously, it's going from a pistol to a shoulder-mounted weapon, so...
I'm sure it feels
it's-
devastated to hear it be talked like that.
I might switch this, I might switch out the Devastator for the combustor, the actual combustor graphic, and use that for the Magma Buster. Because there isn't a Magma Buster asset that I have access to.
The Magma Buster looks the same as the Alpha Combustor, so... So you could just use Combustor for this, and then Alpha Combustor / Magma Buster for the matching weapon.
I could.
If you can
I
find
could.
it.
Yeah. The sound that I'm going to use for V1, I'm actually reverting to the original sound that I was using, which I don't know where Pillow Blaster got the sound or if they made it, but it's the sound for the matchstick from Russian Overkill.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's good for a Flare Magnum. It's got enough of a boof to it. It's got plenty of ass behind it as it is. It doesn't need any help. Actually, this is from the. This is also from the matchstick. This sound. It's alt fire.
Who was the one that made the model? I need that name again.
Pillow Blaster, who made that was the one who made Russian Overkill. Why do you ask?
Pillow Blaster? No. I don't even have to make the joke.
The joke makes itself fun.
All right, I'm going to
no
skip.
help for me.
I'm going to spend very little time on weapons that are being cut. Case in point, the Synthenoid. This drops a Killbot.
Which
Alt
is
fire.
literally just a Reaver from Strife.
It is, because getting sprites of the Synthenoids or anything remotely close to them would be far too complex of a task unless I could get an artist to actually work on this with me. Because I am a 3D artist, I am not a 2D artist.
As it sits, she could mimic the behavior of the Synthenoids a little closer, but it would require some pretty extensive recoding and having like the Synthenoids the Synthenoids being much smaller and floating next to the player. It's entirely doable.
It is doable.
You don't want to do it.
What is a Synthenoid? For those
It's
of us who have no fucking clue.
Synthenoid is just a murder bot.
Little murder bot. If you've ever played any of the Gradius games, like the shmups, they're kind of like options from Gradius.
I'm gonna bully a Mancubus with this sword because I showed y'all the alt fire, which is just stabby. That was not a wrong person.
That's
Ow.
not a mank. That's a fucking sniper.
Hit the wrong button. Mank is one of these two buttons here. One of these is a Mancubus, the other's an Arachnotron. Okay, I guessed correctly.
You got the right one.
Trying to... I was trying to hit his projectiles, because the sword, all your melee attacks can knock projectiles out of the air. But I was being bad at the video game. So, primary fire charges the sword, does a little boom, does big damage, good melee weapon, yes please. If it is out of ammo, or if you press alt fire, you just get a slash. This weapon is going to stay. This is not getting cut, but it is getting overhauled to be a ranged weapon. It is no longer going to be a dedicated melee weapon. this is going to start throwing a projectile. If you've ever played a medieval, those of you who are in the boomer shooter scene, it's going to function like Whisper's Edge. So, swing, sword, throw thing. It won't home, but it will move quickly and hurt. As for other upgrades, probably just speed. It don't need to be anything fancy. It may pick up homing later, like at V3, V4. Anyway, actually, something that would probably be good is to have some background audio going. I'm going to put the music back up. Y'all let me know if it's too loud. By the way, shoutouts to Vinny of Vine Sauce.
Remember, if you want to talk to the Dirk directly, use !Dirk.
Blitzgun. What boomer shooter is complete without a shotgun, right? Well, I got a lightning
Is the O
shot.
silent on this one?
This is not. It's not the Blitzo gun. It's the Blitz gun.
I could not let that joke go by. Go past.
Standard pump
You can't
action.
let anyone go past Han. dude.
Really?
No,
cannot.
I can't. But a Blitzo gun was too good to pass up.
I don't have enough moxie for that joke. So, the Blitzo gun is a standard lightning shotgun. Pump action makes things die real fast.
Hey, Daigu.
On level 2, it picks up a nice little surprise at V3. Spend extra ammo and really blow their minds. Double ammo for triple damage. That is going to change to triple ammo, triple damage. So it's still devastating, and it's not like Blitzgun ammo is hard to stay stocked with. I have 72 shells. And a small capsule gives you... I didn't see how many that was. That's like, what, 8? No, 5. And you got a lot of shells with this. This is going to be a bit slower to start, a bit, and that's gonna be where it primarily gains. It's also gonna gain spread. Basically, everything that a weapon is going to gain with each level, it's going to begin worse than it currently is. It'll also pick up range. Like, by V4, it should be able to hit that wall from here. And one of my favorite weapons that I got to work on with this mod is the V5 of this, the Blitzo Cannon. But we're gonna move on to the Infector.
The worst weapon in the mod.
Fuck you.
Fuck me yourself, you coward.
I'm sore, okay? Alright. So I'm gonna summon another bastard. So now he is friend.
You don't have to call me that. Oh, okay.
Friend, help! Friend, help. Friend, help.
I was about to say, now she call you anything. Nah, that's too big. Never mind.
So the purpose is that it's supposed to make them friendly. Unfortunately, this one's a little outmatched. There we go. Now they fight.
Kind of mouthy.
You failed me. So this is great in crowds, because you can set off a bunch of dudes to infight and leave them to their own devices. Now, reason number 2 why I like this weapon so much is if an enemy is immune to it, it's still not useless. It's not ideal, but it does considerable damage to anything that is immune.
You know what's one thing you could do to really increase the utility of the infector?
What's that?
Make it not alert the monsters.
Make it a silent weapon?
Silence.
I thought about that. Yesterday while I was pissing around with the mod. I had that idea. I think I will make it a silenced weapon.
Now, it becomes a lot more useful if it's silenced.
Because you can
it's
stay
not-
hidden and induce infighting.
Yeah, and compared to like the bangs and zaps made by other weapons,
It literally
not
just
exactly-
coughs. It's just hacking and wheezing what any fucking zombie would do anyway.
yeah.
So yeah, no, this is getting silenced. Its fire rate is going to go down, but will increase. Projectile speed is going to be another big one. It's not going to gain spread. I'm going to keep it accurate. It'll also gain bounces, so its primary fire will gain longevity. Which it already has a lot of that, as you can tell. The way it kind of skitters on the ground. It lasts a while. It's not gonna... That's gonna be about its V3 lifespan. Buzzblades! These are fun. Sawblade launcher. Well, technically not a saw blade, but shurikens. These blades hit hard, they bounce, and they will hit multiple targets. Or, if you feel like cutting the bullshit... I can hear myself.
Yeah, actually, you're echoing.
My speakers were up too loud, sorry.
You're good. Yeah, if you feel like cutting the bullshit, you can just fire the blade straight at the target. This gains homing at V3. Shit. I gotta remember what the actor name for that is. Is it still Chopper?
That's what it started life as.
It started life as the Chopper. I didn't change the names. That's a fix to incorporate into the mod. So, at V3, it becomes a homing weapon. So it's gonna come around and just keep on bullying. I don't know why this Mancubus is making its death sound at low health. There we go. Mini turrets. One of the few defensive weapons that's gonna get kept. Because I love these. Turret. Machine gun. Plain and simple. Now here's where it's going to get a bit of an upgrade. Because at V3 currently it fires a spread of lasers. Unfortunately, that spread of lasers is useless at long range. Let's bully something bigger with this.
Your face.
But just to show it off, I want to drop a turret at a distance. I'll throw it over there, and I'm gonna summon another Arachnotron, and the turret might struggle to hit. Yeah, it's missing a lot of its beams.
Why is Megatron sounding like it's firing storm bolts at you?
I changed the sound.
Oh.
Just to be a bit more distinctive.
Hmm.
So, that's going to upgrade to something more like the Mega Turrets from Ratchet Deadlocked, where it's just basically a rail laser. It'll blast through shit. So, railgun turret. Ah, the Flux Rifle, my baby. It's a sniper rifle.
Does it go 88 miles per hour? Exactly.
That's a flux capacitor, dingus.
I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse. The joke or the fact I didn't get it.
Fun fact, replica flux capacitor parts are actually in the DeLorean parts catalog to this day.
So initially this had an adjustable zoom, but that came at the cost of being able to move and shoot at the same time, which was a terrible decision on my part. So now it's one zoom fits all. This is another weapon that's probably not going to change a whole lot. It might start out unable to pierce targets and then gain piercing substantially as it levels up. Now on to one of X's favorite weapons. I need something big.
What? The nanoswarm?
The nanoswarm.
Damn sight better than the fucking decoy glove it replaced.
The decoy glove was ass. You ain't wrong. But yes, the nanoswarm is not meant to be damage in and of itself. It's really an opportunity for you to go up and beat the hell out of the enemy. Because punching enemies drops health and ammo. So, what these will end up gaining... Ow, you bastard. What these will end up gaining is longevity far more than they'll gain damage. Because currently, once these max out, they will absolutely melt a Mancubus in instant. And alt fire is nothing special. That's it. Second weapon to be cut from the mod, and I'm saddened by this, but at the same time, it doesn't really have a unique home in the mod. The gravity mod.
I would say it did, but... I would say it did as basically your resident trapbuster weapon.
Yeah, but the turrets also satisfied that.
These had a longer lifespan. These were basically loitering munitions.
True. True. Anyway,
Or maybe give the gravity mines as an alt fire to something, I don't know.
Actually... Oh, that is an idea. The Arbiter. We'll get to the Arbiter later. The mine darts for the Arbiter are great, but they also don't do anything different from the Arbiter itself, apart from spreading damage. These mines could be an effective alt fire for that.
And put like a friggin' detonator on like the reload or the zoom keys.
Yeah. Well, I might just give them a long lifespan and make it so you can deploy more of them at once.
That would be nice.
So anyway, the gravity mine. Let's try to piss off this Mancubus so he comes up to us. So, as the name suggests, these mines have gravity. if something gets close, gets pulled in. Ow. Die already! Ugh. So, if I make these an Arbiter alt, that would result in a damage buff for them. Because the Arbiter is decidedly more powerful. These do, like, roughly 100 damage per explosion at V1, whereas the Arbiter does, like, 180. The Lacerator. Machine pistol. Imagine faster, weaker, and 60.
With much less accuracy.
Yeah, much less. Effectively, these are like... This is like the Vipers from Deadlocked. Especially in the fact that they, you can hear the jingle of them ejecting spent cases. Alt fire, quick 5-round burst, good immediate damage against small targets. Typically works if you hit the target.
Yeah.
Usually how that works.
Typically. So this is going to get the projectile speed and fire rate treatment. The V5 currently has dual wielding. That is going away. Tesla Claw. One of my favorites from the original game, but in here, a little less so. I still enjoy the weapon. Nice little pew-pew lightning gun. Or... it goes without saying, but this alt fire is worthless. This was just put here for the hell of it. Instead, it's going to take on the primary fire of another weapon that we're going to get to later. The third and final weapon that is going to be cut. Now we have the Arbiter. Rocket launcher. I don't need to explain anything beyond that. It's a rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher.
What is the launch?
It launches hugs and kind words, Con.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear.
The alt fire for it. 3 mine darts. The idea is to spread damage around. Make this a fodder buster. But a single big fuck you explosion does that just fine.
So, yeah, the gravity mines would make for a great alt fire on this instead.
Yeah, it synergizes in that this is direct attack, whereas the gravity mine is defensive. It also synergizes in the fact that this is long range, whereas the mines are short range.
Mm-hmm.
Also, give me a moment. Hydration check, y'all.
Thirsty bitch. Anyway.
After yesterday.
By the way, Con, if you have any burning questions, or anyone in
I've
chat,
been trying to think so. Well, we is moving pretty quickly, so.
if you want me to go back, I will.
Nah, we're good. At least I am.
I already know about all this stuff, so that's why I'm not asking much.
Yeah. The Seeker Gun, another favorite. Fire and forget explosive drones. You can only run for so long. Oh yeah, the Arbiter, it's going to start out with a smaller boom. It's going to be closer to like a V3 bomb glove explosion. Same damage though, just smaller radius. V3, it's going to pick up this nasty explosion here. It's also going to start with slower rockets. Seeker Gun, is getting... It'll get fire rate, it'll get... it'll change from just impact to having that explosion actually do explosion damage. Because currently... really, the Seeker Gun is meant to target single enemies, not groups. But at V3, it can become more of a crowd controller. The hover bomb. It's a bomb that hovers. So, this little number is a remote mine launcher. These will fly out. They'll go until they hit a wall, an enemy, or until you press Alt Fire. You can deploy a bunch of them at once, too. Currently, the big thing that this gains is more bombs. Goes without saying, that's going away. The bombs themselves will basically be what they are at V1 going forward. So this isn't getting nerfed. The bombs will travel faster, and you'll be able to keep more active at once. My favorite explosive weapon, the meteor gun. Needs to be slowed a little bit at V1, and that's going to be the big thing. Big upgrade at V2. Homing. Oops. Now this one gets a big upgrade at V4 as well. Or rather, V3, they lose their gravity and start flying. Oh, I did remove the homing from this. Instead, it just gets a huge speed boost. I forgot that I had removed that. But I know why I did it. It was overpowered as hell. This has no alt fire. The third and final weapon to get cut from the mod. I need to go somewhere.
The plasma coil.
The plasma coil. The main reason this is getting cut from the mod is because its function in this is nothing like its function in the original games. In the original games, it was a chain lightning weapon. You would stick the ball to an enemy, and it would zap something close by with a coil of electricity. I don't know how to do that in this. I've tried. So instead, it's a BFG. Its alt fire is the pre-alpha BFG from forever ago. What we now call the BFG 2704. The primary of this is going to get consolidated into the Tesla Claw, and it is going to be given a huge boost, but at the cost of it's going to use a ton of ammo. I'm thinking it's gonna use at least as much as a BFG shot uses cells. But it is going to be a proper BFG blast. Joke weapon. It's a joke, but that doesn't mean it's weak. The Morpho Ray. It turns enemies into chickens. These chickens have 1 HP. They will attack other enemies. If you could get enough of these on one enemy, they will kill something.
That's fucking great.
And when you kill them, they drop a sizable chunk of XP. Biggest change to the Morpho Ray is it is not going to be nearly as effective at grinding. So initially, let me summon something really weak. Initially, so this guy's gonna give us like 2 XP. The chicken gives 25, so doing that gives you an enormous bump.
Oh.
Yeah. That's changing. It's still going to be good if you're using it against low-level fodder, zombies, and shit like that. But it's not gonna be 25. It's gonna be like 10.
And I have a sad because I can't use my Twinkinator strat anymore.
Yeah, you twink your weapons up with this fucking ridiculous shit. Look, it was fun while it lasted. This will gain efficiency and range. Eventually, this is just going to burn through ammo so incredibly slowly. It already has an enormous ammo pool to begin with when you have, when you are fully upgraded.
You better not goddamn touch that either.
Oh no, the ammo pool is going to stay the same. The Bouncer, one of the fan favorites. So for the next 6 weapons, just going to those back row bastards isn't going to cut it. I need bosses.
Back row bastards.
So from the front row fuckheads, Con, spider or giant?
Giant.
Giant. The Bouncer, fractal bouncy homing explodey ball of death gun.
Cluster grenade.
Nice.
Ding 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 ding.
Sounds like her empty bottles from last night.
Yeah, after
Yes,
after I was done working.
Yes, I know you only had 2, but
Grr. Yes, I only had 2, and only after I was finished working, quote unquote.
We're not elaborating on that.
Not allowed to. Anyway, the slot 8 weapons here are going to get probably the lowest amount of change, or they're going to get. How do I put this? They are going to be the most nerfed. In some form or another. They're still going to be devastatingly powerful, but boss monsters are going to be given a huge HP drop. So, the ridiculous amount of damage these are capable of doing will become unnecessary. Excuse me, hiccups. This has no alt fire. Currently, it gains more bombs as it levels up. That is going to change. What the hell was that?
That was a cyber demon explosion.
Huh. Weird. The Rhino. If you don't know, stands for Rip You a New One. This is a multi-missile launcher. Primary fire launches 7 homing missiles in a burst. Alt fire is a shotgun spread of non-homing missiles. Honestly, this is probably going to be the weapon that gets the least amount of change. They might, it might gain fire rate. I don't know. But these slot 8 weapons, there's not a lot you can do with them. They're just kind of nuts anyway.
The Harbinger.
Speaking of nuts, this unassuming little device here is the most powerful weapon in the game, aside from one.
Which is getting cut.
No, it's not getting cut. It's getting moved.
Oh, yeah.
I missed.
I think it's a bolognese issue causing all that, the weird misplaced pain sounds and all that.
I think you may be right. Oh well, it's not a big deal. Oh, one other thing about the slot 8 weapons is that little blurb at the bottom of the screen there is that normally spawned ammo capsules will not refill these just because of how powerful they are. That's getting changed so that they all just give 1. The drawback is all of these slot 8 weapons are going to have less ammo. I want to make them powerful. I want to make them so that you can use them and abuse them a little bit, but not so that you can mainline them.
But at the same time, don't pull a Turok 2.
Exactly. Don't make it so that you have, like, just a couple of shots and then you're done. Like this.
No, worse than Turok 2. Don't pull a Doom Eternal.
No, I'm thinking that the Bouncer will have 10 shots, the Rhino will have 8, and then the Harbinger will have 5.
Base?
Base.
Okay, that's fine.
You could say it's based.
And they'll max out at
Double those figures.
Maybe double, maybe a little less. It'll be between 50 and 100% more. So it could be 20, 16, and 10. It could be just 15, 12, and 7.
2016 and 10 sounds actually pretty good for their power level.
It does, and considering the fact that if you're abusing them, you're going to struggle to keep ammo, and when you run out, you're not going to have capsules to refill your other weapons, so you'll kind of end up screwing yourself over. Moving into the weapons that are getting moved. All these next 3 are getting moved and rebalanced completely. So, we start with the Pyrocitor. Initially an early game weapon in Ratchet & Clank 1, now made into an above super weapon tier weapon. I'll show you what I mean. I need a big enemy. Cyber Demon.
That was a hell of a long time to kill for a super weapon.
Yeah, but you noticed, 1, the flames are going straight through the enemy, so it can hit multiple at a time.
Yep. It's a ripper.
2, When he switched to homing missiles, he was completely rendered useless. 3, this is the weakest of the Slot 9 weapons by a wide margin. And at V5, you know how devastating this is.
Oh, yeah.
It is evil.
Okay. Yeah, the afterburner's nasty.
So, yeah, that's another thing, is if an enemy launches a homing projectile at you, you can shoot it down. So, yeah, this is getting completely rebalanced to be a more early game flamer. Rift Inducer.
The Rift Inducer.
I'm so proud of myself for that effect.
Yeah.
For those who missed it.
That's great.
Hey, sidebar, can I ask for one minor adjustment when it comes to certain enemies' XP drops?
What's that?
Especially bosses? Could it actually be, like, more commensurate with their normal, like, HP?
So you want it to be...
Cyber Demon XP.
So you want
Like,
10%.
Say,
every
Spider Demon drops like 300 XP.
Oh,
and
so
a Cyber Demon drops 400.
So you want it to be based on their vanilla HP.
Yeah, based on their vanilla, not on their upgraded for HNB, because that'd be way too much.
That would, well, even after, well, with the nerf, I think what I'm gonna do is Cyber Demons. I don't even remember where Cyber Demons are. I think they're at 12,000, and then Spider Masterminds are at 16,000. I think they are gonna still have a lot of health. They're gonna have more than their
Probably
vanilla counterparts.
About half those figures that you gave earlier?
It's close to what I was thinking, yeah. Something like 6 and 8,000. I do want the Spider Masterminds to have more health than the Cyber Demons.
Yeah, so a Spider Demon would give like 300 XP.
Yeah.
Based on, their vanilla 3,000 health.
I because of the nerf, what I was getting at is I might do it based on their HNB health. Because 800 XP is a lot, but it's not ridiculous.
Fair. I was always kind of underwhelmed by the boss's XP drops, because right now I think they're only dropping like 100 each.
250.
Yeah, that's not enough in my opinion.
That's fair. And what I might also do is have them behave like the Keens. Actually, let's... I want to go over here and show that off. So, these Commander Keen dolls here, these are used to unlock doors in a lot of games. Yeah, don't think about it too much. So, how I set them up is when they die... It's like a fountain of bolts. I may do that with bosses as well.
Honestly, I'd suggest you kind of do something similar with, like, destroyable decorations.
Mm-hmm.
But not a fountain of bolts. Like, they drop, like, small amounts, like 1 to 5 max,
I may do that. Have them just drop a random smattering of red bolts.
Well, not just red. Sometimes it drops in, like, the occasional green or blue in there.
Yeah. Be small amounts.
Oh, by the way... Go ahead.
I was going to say, about equal or less than what you would get from a bolt crate.
Mm-hmm. And having, like, the destroyable decorations and things in the environment drop bolts is canon to RNC.
It is. And with
the health... currency and not XP.
Yeah, and with the health scaling going down, the bolt bonus is also going down, so...
Mm-hmm.
You may need it in order to level your weapons.
Yeah, so what I was starting to say was that the color scheme on the bolts does mean something.
Yeah.
If anybody here is familiar with the Spyro games...
It's pretty obvious.
You remember the color coding on the gems there?
To recall,
red for one, green for 2, blue for 5,
blue for 5,
yellow for 10,
purple for
pink for
25,
25.
pink, purple,
Yeah.
whatever. And then I
Yeah.
added orange for 50 and white
and
for
white
100.
for 100. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what I was showing off while we were talking about that is if you press the alt fire near one of these rifts, it goes from pull, it goes from suck to blow. Considering we were watching Sort of Stupid.
Mega Maid.
Yeah, we were watching Sort of Stupid react to Spaceballs yesterday, so...
Oh, speaking of Spaceballs, did you hear that?
Spaceballs
Mel
2,
Brooks
The
is
Search for
actually-
More Money?
Yeah, more money? Yeah, it's actually getting made.
It's actually, yes, we were talking about that too.
Say hello to the Spinning Hydra, everybody.
One of
Scarlet's favorite weapons.
One of my favorite weapons because it is so incredibly overpowered. Let me get a target lock on this one here. So he had wait, where is it? What the heck? He's taking very little damage.
I think you deliberately made it to where the Hydra did less damage to bosses.
I may have,
It's only taken about 2,000 damage a hit.
which is still a lot.
Yeah, you deliberately nerf the Hydra versus bosses.
What is that?
To hell with this.
What was it? What was the friggin' obit on the spider? Those spiders from System Shock 2 have nothing on her. If you know, you know.
So, at max level, this does 60,000 damage.
Yeah, Rift Inducer's nasty.
Yes. Now, let's talk about the wrench real quick before we get into the big boys. So, this already looks like a left-handed swing to me, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to become your quick melee as opposed to punches. If you are crouched while using your quick melee, you'll throw the wrench. And the thing that I added to this that you saw in previous streams is when you smack projectiles with the wrench, it'll bounce them back if they're able to bounce. If they're going too fast to be bouncy, then they just get knocked out of the air. This is going to become your quick melee, and you'll have access to this at all times. Now, there we go. The V5 weapons. Not a lot to show here. These are going to function mostly the same. They're just going to be weakened. So let's get right into it. First with the N90 Hurricane. That dinky little pistol turns into a double-barreled light machine gun.
Nice.
And I'm going to need a boss for pretty much all of these, I think. Nah, I'll do a Pain Elemental for this one. Granted, it still absolutely mulches the Pain Elemental. Which, that was a Nightmare Cacodemon. Let's see a Cyber Demon against this. That is an Annihilator, and it got annihilated. This is the starting pistol, and it just took down a boss at V5. This one is getting completely changed. Currently, whole lot of fire. It's alt fire. Closer spread. Also, game, could you maybe chill with the Annihilators?
You know, it could keep a bit of a shotgun alt fire, but instead of fire bombs, it just shoots a spread of the bouncy grenades, like regular ass bomb glove grenade, like V4 bomb glove grenades. That was a cyber mastermind death right there.
That was. What do you... Wait. Run that by me again?
Okay, primary fire shoots like, the big ass dark matter bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there. Alt fire for the same ammo fires out like the existing spread of B6 obliterator bombs, but they're just V4 bouncy versions of the V4 bomb glove grenades.
Oh, okay. So, basically, spread the love.
Yeah, and it's a wide scattering too, like
Right.
wider than that, and it is not a fixed spread either.
It's actually meant to really heck up a crowd.
Yeah, and instead of fire, it shoots a bunch of like shrapnel everywhere.
Maybe not shrapnel, but it would be some pretty good sized kabooms.
Shrapnel or like little like dark matter bolts or something to keep with the dark matter theming.
Yeah.
Probably could do with recoloring those red bits on the weapon purple too if you're going with dark matter.
Yeah. Also, wait, red bit. Oh, yeah, these.
Mm-hmm.
Haha. See what I meant about this being huge?
Huge.
This thing is this fucking gun is huge.
It's huge. It's bigly.
Oh my god.
Disposed.
Also, I don't need to dodge things anymore. The super weapon command was supposed to make me invincible because it has God 2 attached to it. But yeah, no, that cyber demon didn't last very long, did he?
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to get shrunk down. It's going to get slowed down. And the alt is going to fire a much wider spread. So the primary is gonna, or the fire rate's gonna be something more like... something along those lines.
We can just skip Mr. Jerkon.
Yep. So, to synergize with... the reason why I'm switching the primary on the Pulsar Cutlass to be more ranged is that this is also ranged. This also hits like a motherfucker. This does have the same alt fire or out of ammo equals melee attack. Is this getting changed at all? Not really. This is pretty much exactly how I want it to be. I absolutely love the Black Star Cutlass. The Blitzo Cannon. So, the Blitz gun was a single barrel pump action shotgun. This is a double barrel automatic shotgun. Just wait till you see its alt fire.
BFG.
Big BFG.
Nice.
This is not a BFG 9K. This is a BFG 10K. So that ball does constant AoE damage. It does impact damage when it hits something. It also explodes. It also does the BFG rays. This does the Blitz Cannon alt does about 6,000 damage.
God damn.
One more time. stood no chance. And even the primary is ridiculous, so let's play with that for a second just to show it off. This is one weapon that is definitely getting nerfed. I'm thinking also of returning the alt fire of this to what it is with the shot cannon in Up Your Arsenal, the big laser of death that you can sweep across a room. Infecto Bomb, all this doesn't do much additional, like, special shit. It just globs one big sneeze that turns into a bunch of littler sneezes.
And is it still... And like its regular form, you gotta make it silent?
Yes. Nothing really special to show off with this one. The Doom Blades. These are going to get nerfed quite a bit, because the fact that they explode into so many blades that then explode and do a lot of damage is kind of silly. So, one of two things are going to happen. Either this is getting an ammo cut, or it's going to lose the explodey-splodies. And honestly, playing with it now, I'm thinking it's gonna get an ammo cut.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want that effect to be taken out of contention.
Something like you would go down from 30.
Go down from like 30 base to like 20.
I was thinking somewhere between 15 and 20.
About a 33% ammo cut sounds fair.
Yeah, and it stays pretty damn devastating. That's going to be the thing, is either these weapons are going to get a huge nerf... Well, they're going to get nerfed in damage, but not so much... But maybe not nerfed in function. The Mega Turret. V1 launched bullets. V2 launched lasers. V3... plasma balls. I'm thinking homing missiles, or making those plasma balls homing.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, if you did homing missiles, you'd have to change their damage type, probably.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You'd change it; they'd be explosives instead of energy or plasma. Sorry.
The snowblind
rifle.
Snowblind
splitter.
Becomes an icy weapon
At V3.
It is also an automatic sniper rifle.
You are terminated.
How do you feel about that?
That really needs a better sound. I
keep it because that's what it was in the Source games, but if we can find something better, I'm all for it.
Something a little more energy. Probably like mixing like a laser musket with it, you know?
Maybe. Hey, if you could figure something out, I'll
Well,
work
you know,
with it.
Red, at this point, you know me. I can pull off some magic with these things.
Right, your sound engineering skills they're great. This dude knows what the fuck he's doing when it comes to sound engineering.
Yeah, I've helped her also with some of the sprite edits on these, mainly muzzle flares and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it all
But-
nice and sprightly.
Yeah, my expertise though is mainly in sound effects because
Yes.
I know how to make a good sounding fucking gun. I am not even humble bragging when I say that. I know I can.
You've demonstrated it literally hundreds of times at this point.
And you've demonstrated it on stream whenever you played ZX.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is basically going to stay as it is, just damage cut. Standard V5 nerf. It's going to remain the automatic sniper rifle.
Is it still going to keep the shard, like throwing the frost shards on hit?
Yes.
Okay, good, because that was what made the
night.
snowblind splitter fail the sniff test last time.
See ya, Ari.
Later, hon. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Con. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I just saw that area was saying that they're heading out, and I wanted to make sure that they said that they
Got noticed.
got told goodnight.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Frost Swarm Glove. Remember how I said that these are absolutely ruinous at V5? Let's just throw 2 of these out. Fire and forget. They also explode.
Like a glove.
Standard damage cut. We can skip this one. Oh, no.
Yeah,
No.
That's the Singularity Mine Launcher.
Dude,
You're not...
B6 Obliterator alt.
No. Devastator alt.
You're thinking Decimator. You're thinking Decimator alt?
Decimator. Yeah.
Just for synergy?
It loses the weird bouncing multi-exploding rocket in favor of Singularity Mines.
So the those are actually its primary. The bouncy rockets. And I'm keeping
Well,
that.
it loses whatever its current alt is in favor of...
Oh, the mini nuke.
This.
But these will stick around in the Decimator.
Mm-hmm.
The big
Try
thing that this
later.
is losing is the dual wielding. But these actually have a different function from the Lacerator, slightly. Let me summon something... This. So instead of a burst fire, it becomes a shotgun. Like I said...
I'd hopefully keep that rate of fire with a damage cut.
It would lose the overall fire rate because I can't really go faster than this. Or I can't really go this fast on one gun without it looking silly. So this is this is gonna get slowed down to probably like... So kind of along the lines of the Quake shotgun fire speed.
Yeah, it's. I know I've proposed it before in private. The Black Hole Storm would make for a hell of an upgrade for these, like visually, you know. And you know, dark matter can be cold, but
it can.
A machine pistol upgrading into a minigun
if we can get
is a very Ratchet and Clank thing.
It is a very Ratchet and Clank thing, and while I was writing up the documentation, I started to consider it. The issue is just the complexity of animation.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody can do that, because I, again, am not a 2D artist, if we can get a volunteer to contribute that, you'll get mentioned in the credits. The Thunderbolt. Initially, the Tesla Claw did not have an upgraded version because original game didn't do that, aside from just making them gold. This has a fun little effect of chain lightning, but not in the same way that I wanted to do with the plasma coil. This just barfs out chain lightning in all directions. Or minigun.
Man, the friggin' Fallout 4 Gatling laser sounds great for that, don't it?
It really does. So, here's what's going to happen with this little number. This alt fire is going to become the primary.
Mm-hmm. What about the new alt?
Plasma Storm.
Oh, yeah. Plasma Storm's fucking nasty. Alright. Decimator.
Decimator. We'll just show off the primary for this.
I think they got decimated.
Oh, absolutely. The reason I'm keeping the weird bouncy rockets is because that's what the Decimator originally did.
Yeah, its current alt fire just shoots a nuke.
The primary is also going to do fewer bounces. It's not going to be quite as obnoxious.
And new alt, hopefully, will be Singularity Mines or something similar.
No, hopefully it will be. It'll be Singularity Mines.
Well, that means this will be a double damage type weapon, too, because Singularity Mines do physical.
Yep, they do physical, whereas this does explosive.
Explosive.
The HK-22, one of my favorite weapons from the original games. Reimagined here to be even more insane and stupid.
I thought I knew that better than what before.
What you just saw...
Instead of firing 3 homing drones, it fires
a single fast
one homing
moving
drone.
Uh-huh.
That explodes into explosive plasma balls.
Which home in on the target that the initial drone was homing in on.
So you've literally turned them into smart missiles from Descent.
Yes. Oh, by the way, these can be detonated in midair, and then the plasma balls will find their own targets, potentially raining death on a large number of enemies.
This doesn't have an alt fire, does it?
Just the detonator. The Felsen
If you were willing to forgo that detonator, would you be willing to have it fire 3 drones as it does in the original source material, but without the explosive plasma? The plasma, the scatter.
Maybe. Let's see what damage numbers look like, and then I'll consider that. The only issue I have with that is that when you fire 3 in Doom, they all tend to focus in on the same target.
Yeah, because hunter killers are not... The engine's not really designed around hunter-killer missiles.
The Felsen device. This one is getting effectively completely changed. It is getting replaced. This is going to be renamed, for one, from the Felsen device to be something a bit more in line with the Hover Bomb's name. It's going to be changed to the Shatter Bomb. And the Shatter Bomb is going to fire one big mine of these that explodes into the spicy Doritos that you see bouncing around here.
Yeah. I mean, failing that, if that doesn't end up working out in the long run, you could literally just turn it into the Tetra Bomb launcher from the original game.
I could, which is already what it's doing, just with the flak.
Yeah.
Which, it's called the Tetra Bomb, even though it's firing more than 4.
It's firing a spread of 5, actually.
Oh, it's really the Pentabomb.
The Pentabomb.
Another Chaos weapon. V5 is known for these. The Soaring Comet. Shoutouts to Beth Andy.
It is a meteor cannon.
So let me give you a play-by-play of what the hell just happened. Automatic comet launcher. Those comets bounce along the ground. As they bounce, they home in on targets. After 5 bounces, whether it's hitting a target or a surface, they explode into a spread of meteors that then home in on the original target and pummel it to death.
Nice.
So it's kind of like a mini bouncer in that regard.
Yeah, it's a mini bouncer with way more aggressive homing and a lot more fire rate.
What about an alt fire? What have we got on that?
There's no alt fire. Here's my idea. Primary fire, standard bouncy boys. Alt fire, non-bouncy boy that immediately explodes into the meteors.
And no gravity either.
It would have gravity.
Hmm.
So you'd still deploy it like that. But look at how far it goes.
Hell, I'd honestly make that even floatier.
I don't see why not, honestly.
Just like, the reason I just said no gravity, induce a little bit of inaccuracy in it, so it's not like an auto arbiter, you know. But
Yeah.
Item found.
but yeah,
No, that would be reasonable.
it's like a faster, less powerful version of the shatter bomb in that regard.
Yeah.
Can you
Now,
tell her and I regularly talk about this stuff, like off stream?
Can you tell we've been working on this shit for 10 years
Yes.
together?
Yes, I can.
Now this is going to become the Thunderbolt's alt fire. Just because it's still active. Get back over here. You got more work to do.
And that's a cyber mastermind too. Plasma
Yes.
Storm is fucking hideously nasty.
It's going to get a nerf as it becomes the alt fire for the Thunderbolt. It's also going to it's gonna have a shorter lifespan and do less damage, but it is also going to use a hellacious amount of ammo. Like it's probably gonna use 100 rounds of ammunition.
At that power level?
You should just see it
At the
kill
nerf-
two
at the nerf.
spiders?
No, at the nerfed power level, I mean.
Yeah, because think of how much obnoxious crowd control that's capable of.
Yeah, I could basically, like, 2 or 3 shots and fucking wreck a slaughter map.
Pretty much. Because each of those lightning strikes does AoE damage. That's not just direct. That effect is for rather large explosions. So one lightning blast can tear down an entire crowd of imps.
Hey, just for the hell of it, let's see the alt fire. I know it's going away, but...
How would y'all feel about an automatic double barrel BFG? What's that, you don't want it? Well, too fucking bad.
It's going away, sadly, but...
It is going away, unless, actually, idea, what if the alt became the... It would just be one instead of a 3-round burst. But what if that became the alt fire for the Thunderbolt? Do you think that might be a better fit?
No, because, if you're taking the Plasma Coil's primary already, you should probably take the Plasma Storm's primary for the T-Bolt, honestly. It gives the player better crowd control abilities.
You're not wrong, even though this is...
Yeah, it's
This-
lovely. It
it
can be
ravages
repurposed as an
enemies.
alt. It could be repurposed as an alt for something else, like, I don't know, the fucking Tempest?
I love you. The alt fires for that can be... The alt fires for the...
Yeah, the Plasma Coil alt fires go on the Hydra and the Tempest.
They suit the same purpose.
they're still BFG shots, basically. Except, well, for the alt, for like the storm alt, you remove the BFG effect, just replace it with explosive splash. Because your BFG effect's on the primary.
Mm-hmm.
Split it up. Deconstruct the BFG.
Yep. Deconstruct the BFG and just rework everything into it. Because while I am straying as far from Doom as I can, this is still Doom, and I want to use those elements in synergy with Ratchet and Clank, with Ratchet and Clank being in the driver's seat.
Yeah. See? I is learning. Say hello to the Beaconator, everybody, the evolved Morpho Ray.
And yes, the name is a Wendy's reference. Let me summon something smaller.
And I remember, over in,
Oh, it's immune to that.
it doesn't work on Mancubi, silly.
It doesn't work on boss monsters. And technically, the Mancubus is a boss monster.
Yeah, it turned him.
Where did it go?
There, to your left. There it is. It just walked across your vision.
No, it didn't. Oh, there you are. So, red chicken. They do more damage. They're faster, they're more aggressive, and
they explode into flames. Blake Belladonna over in one of the Discord servers I help run came up with the perfect name for those chickens.
yeah,
He called them Nuka chickens.
Nuka chickens. That's better than
Their actor name, which is Hot Cock.
yes.
So that's what I come back to. Hot cock. Got it.
Yep, cock. Yep, cock. Yep, cock. Shout outs to Annie.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, I think that's a good name. I like it.
Nuka chickens. That shotgun attack is automatic and does pitiful damage, like 2 per ray.
1. It does 1 per ray. The point of it is not to damage enemies. It is to damage the chickens.
It's to set off the chickens.
The heavy
One thing
bouncer.
I would what?
Oh, go ahead.
Go back to the Beaconator for just a moment. I know you're nerfing the XP gain from them.
Yeah?
Would you be open to at least still keeping elevated XP for the Nuka chickens?
As in having it be more than the Morpho Ray?
I ain't saying that the 50 that they're at right here. Maybe
I was thinking 20.
25 to compensate for the effort.
20 because double.
Fair.
That's my thought process. Or it could be... we could figure that out.
Yeah, we could hash something out later. But anyway, next up, Heavy Bouncer.
Heavy Bouncer. If the Bouncer was stupid, this is absolutely dumb.
I know what word you were going to say there. We can't say that on the air.
Not words for polite company. Actually, no, the word I was going to say was ridiculous, but that didn't really fit with what I was saying.
So what happens is the Heavy Bouncer fires a massive fuck-off ball.
It explodes. It
explodes into a bunch of bouncer shells, which in turn explode into a metric shitload of the little bouncy ting-ting bombs.
The jingle bombs, as they're called in code.
Mm-hmm. Jingle shells, jingle shells. The Rhino 5. I had tried unsuccessfully to actually get her to put the 1812 Overture in as it's firing.
You're incorrect. I did try to put it in. The problem is the fire sound completely drowned it out.
You can fix that with A_start sound now.
It didn't stop the sound. It was... The fire sound is so loud that you can't hear the na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
You can fix that with A_start sound now.
Anyway...
The functionality of the Rhino 5 was replicated as closely as humanly possible without access to the animations.
Yep.
It fires a whole shitload of ice bullets as well as homing missiles.
Anything up close is not going to be close anymore. Case in point. It's
Fun
dead.
fact, in earlier versions, that used to be the Rhino 2. I convinced her to upgrade to the Rhino 5 instead.
And I'm glad you did.
Because it's basically literally the same thing except with additional ice bullets.
Yep.
Well, plasma and ice bullets. It's like a triple whammy in terms of damage types.
Mm-hmm.
Basically whatever you're aiming that thing at, it will take a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah. It's not walking away from it. Case in point, that arachnophyte just got absolutely steamrolled. Oh, by the way, these weapons are refilled by these capsules. So once they hit V5, they're no holds barred. You can absolutely tease them.
If you put in the effort to level up to a V5, you deserve the ability to spam it.
Yes, exactly. Lastly, the Supernova. Well, lastly for slot 8. We still have the slot 9s, which...
Y'all ain't ready. Y'all are not ready.
Y'all ain't ready for this bullshit. Anyway. The Supernova. One-shotted a cyber mastermind.
Which has 17,500 health.
Let's not zoom it in and let's see it in its glory. I missed. I didn't miss that time.
Congratulations, you managed to miss with the hardest to miss with weapon in the mod. How does it feel? The silence.
The afterburner.
Oh wait, wrong afterburner. Fire! Fire!
Nice.
So that's already a ton of damage. The plan is, enemies killed with this are gonna drop fire.
Mm-hmm. Hence, afterburner. The original plan for this was to actually have those be acid flames, hence the green coloration.
Mm-hmm. Now it's just green flames in reference to the gold pyrocitor, which did fire green flames.
It didn't have an alt either, did it?
It did not.
Probably come up with some later. The Rift Ripper!
Nice.
Same alt fire effect. By the way, if you're not close enough, it doesn't work. You gotta get up on it.
Usually that's what she says.
Bruh. Look. I can't say things that I want to say right now.
Spider Mastermind screech there says it all.
Lastly...
Finally, the Tempest.
It's dead. Give me something something bigger. Give me a Cyber Mastermind. If you don't do it this time, I'm just gonna cheat one in. Thank you.
Ask and ye shall receive.
It's still dead in one hit.
Splat. Like, splat.
Alright, I'm getting pulled away by the girlfriend finally.
Oh, okay.
Y'all have
All
a
right.
good time.
Take it easy, Con.
Take it easy, man. I'll see
and
you
I'll
tonight.
see you. Yeah, I'll see you later tonight.
Yeah.
Dungeon Master.
All right.
Well, we only have a little bit left to cover in this mod, and then we'll be done. Let's talk about power-ups. So, all of these are pretty much exactly how I want them to be. First off, we have the Inferno. What the hell? This is double damage and double XP. Pretty good. The Phaserator. Any solid projectiles, such as bullets, rockets, things like that, will pass right through you, and you gain partial invisibility. I actually want to expand that, so that all projectiles will go through you. Of course, you would still be susceptible to explosions and melee attacks, as well as hit scan and rail hits. So some things are still going to hit you, but if you could see it coming, it won't hurt you. Carbonox armor. 80% damage reduction and infinite ammo. Basically, it's your Berserk. Go crazy, do damage. Don't worry about the damage that you take on for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not picking those up. That is Al's glasses. Those give you night vision.
Lighting.
Yeah,
it's a light amp.
And it uses the it does not use the Arty Torch. It uses the old night vision because, well, green lens. I already picked up the Nanotech Booster, which is full health and 500 Nanotech XP. And the Care Package, which is a Nanotech Booster plus an Ammo-matic, which is
which is your backpack expanded.
Yeah, it's an ammo expansion. The thing about the Ammo-matic is it only affects weapons that you have. So when you collect a weapon for the first time, if you have collected a bunch of Ammo-matics, none of them apply. You have to start from 0. Keeps the Ammo-matic useful in high difficulties where they give you way less of an ammo bonus. Lastly, the Shield Charger is poison immunity and damaging floor immunity.
I have suggested a modified version of the Shield Charger as a gadget, where it gives like about an additional 100 health, like as an armor bar or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Scarlet seems very hell-bent against providing the player any kind of permanent or player-activatable DR.
Yes.
And the thing, well, at least I'd have a little bit of canon on my side when I talk about the Shield Charger doing that, you know?
And the thing
Because
is,
it did give you, like, 4 solid hits.
Yeah, the thing is, and this is purely a me being particular thing, is I would want it to be an actual bubble shield, not just an armor.
That could be doable, but the thing, I figure that could be doable with modified sprites, but they'd have to be very translucent, or, you could probably induce, like, some kind of, like, power-up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like a script that gives an item in the inventory and it tints the screen as long as it's active, or gives like a screen border effect as long as it's active.
Could do something like that. Or I could use the idea that I had for the Nanopack and make the Shield Charger actually provide overcharge to the nanopack when you have it.
I figure it would be a little more on par. It would be a little closer to canon to have it where it gives like a fixed extra 100 shields with no possible upgrade to it and a long cooldown. We're talking like at least 2 minutes cooldown. But it can be triggered at will by the player.
Mm-hmm. Here's an idea.
It combines with the nanopack. The nanopack is the automatic oh shit button.
Mm-hmm.
The shield charger is the manual one.
Oh shit button.
Yeah.
Here's an idea that I just had. What if I incorporate a bit of Quake style love into this? I can extend the gadget bar on the left to include one more slot. And every time you pick up a shield charger, it goes into that slot. If you waste it, it's your own damn fault. But when you use it, it gives you it gives you the usual effect.
That aforementioned 100 health, 100 extra health, basically.
Yeah, and it could lay over as an armor. It could lay over as a yellow bar too.
I'd say actually a blue bar from the right. Drains from left. It drains from a blue bar, like a kind of a blue bar that drains from left to right.
And it would always completely fill. It would be it would go all the way across.
It would only go as far as the nanopack bar doesn't go.
So 75% of the health bar. Which actually it's going to become 66%. 66% of the health bar because the nanopack is going to be increased in its effectiveness. When filled, it can restore up to a third of your health.
And also as for like a rad suit replacement, probably can find some kind of boots or something like that. Like one of Ratchet's various boot gadgets would replace the shield charger in world like this. The shield charger itself you would find like say in a fairly in a fairly late box. Probably like
Oh, actually I have another way we could go about this. I like what you're going at. It's like maybe like the last thing you can get from the blue boxes, or even something even an additional thing in the purple.
Like it replaces the dud from the blue box.
Or what if these were your armor and they spawned alongside whatever we use for the rad suit as like a random chance, kind of like how you'll do medikits alongside power armor in ZX. 2 usable items.
Uh-huh.
And then we extend this bar out to accommodate that space.
I would like that thinking if we weren't talking about Hot and Bothered, because in the past you have tried to avoid as much RNG as possible.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
That's the one hang-up I've got in terms of like consistency. If you're willing to change your tune on that, sure, fine, go with it. But
I mean, there are some things that are RNG based, like monster spawns, box spawns. It wouldn't be a huge. It wouldn't be a huge deviation.
Carbonox.
What if it always spawned alongside Carbonox? You
and
pick
carried
this
random chances to spawn alongside other power-ups or other
that might get
like a very rare chance to spawn alongside like nanotech cans. Cans only.
Maybe. I was actually thinking that when you pick one of these up, it gives you a shield charger.
It grants one. And what are you like allowed to hold more than one, or just hold one?
You can hold you can hold many of them, but it's up to you not to waste them.
And they give you only 100 max.
Yeah, considering that's half your health at the start, and basically none at the at the end.
It might be good for an emergency oh shit button to get out of there, you know?
Uh-huh. So, yeah, okay, I'm starting to warm to this idea.
I've been when I've talked about it, I've been trying to keep it, balanced in terms of the game mechanics and the intended experience as well.
Because the intent
I'm
is
trying
for this
to keep with canon.
Yeah, because this is intended to be it's balanced to be fairly difficult.
And my main interest here is increasing the odds of player survivability when they're paying attention. If they're not paying attention, they'll get slaughtered like the monsters. But if they are, damn near unstoppable. Reward an observant player with continued survivability and better, and like, reward observant
Reward observant, attentive, and reactive players with the means to survive an overwhelming situation.
Which is also why one of the reasons I've advocated, for instance, for the destroyable decorations and such, to drop bolts.
Sort of, hey, you noticed this, here's a little bit of extra XP.
And again, that keeps with canon.
It does.
Not completely, because bolts aren't XP in the original game. They're all in the original games. They're currency.
I had a thought on top of that. You see, we have a bolt counter up there, and I have quite an embarrassing amount of bolts already. Here's my thinking. What if bolts were experience, and this bar here showed you how much you needed, or showed you how much you needed to level up that weapon? You spend the bolts with a key press to level up the weapon, but the bar here has to be full. This does one big thing. It means that you aren't forced to use low-level weapons just to bring them up to par.
So what you're saying is you're basically making the V5 kitty
standard,
permanent to all weapons, and it's manually triggered.
That's the thought. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but it would give purpose to having currency, and it would, in a soft sense, incorporate the shops.
The only other way I could think of utilizing the bolts as currency would be incredibly coding intensive, like having a Z-script submenu and such to be able to bring up the PDA. And we've discussed this years ago, actually, and it was ruled out then.
It may have been ruled out then, but that doesn't mean it can't be ruled back in now, because there is a code basis for it. It's just a little rough.
The code basis for it that I normally would think of regarding this would be the shop from Guncaster.
Yeah, could use the shop from Guncaster, and this way you could also purchase. Well, I probably wouldn't allow the player to purchase ammo. That's one thing. But you can buy your upgrades.
If they had enough bolts, they could purchase G-boxes or purchase weapons directly.
Maybe not purchase weapons, but you would be able to purchase weapon upgrades. So you would have a bronze upgrade, a silver, a gold, and a platinum. And you could upgrade, you could buy those.
Speaking of which, you could probably also have bosses drop, like, gold bolts
Which
worth a
could
shitload of money.
worth it, yeah. Give use for those
Like,
things that are gonna fall out of use because, well, Annihilation Nation isn't a thing anymore. Unless I can get a team together who want to do some mapping, want to do some very different mapping from your standard Doom fare, because the idea for Annihilation Nation is that it would be a Metroidvania. Okay, speaking of Annihilation Nation, starting equipment is going to be closer to that. That's getting merged in. You will lose the double jump, or the anti-gravitizer, and you will lose the... Right now it's the thruster pack, because we have that, which allows us to dodge by double tapping. Normally it's the helipack. Those will be taken away from your starting arsenal, and you will have to find them in white boxes. White boxes are going to start to spawn alongside dead marines and maybe other things. Those are probably going to be very common just because they're the low-tier weapons. Let's keep them, if nothing else, let's keep them fed on ammo. So you will have to acquire your double jump, and you'll have to acquire your glide. Initially, I was going to have it so that you also had to acquire this heightened movement speed, but I decided not to do that because Ratchet's survivability in this largely relies on his ability to keep fucking moving. And single jumps like this early on in the game is gonna be plenty for you to get away from enemies. Yeah. Instead, those charge boots are gonna be repurposed as launch boots. So if you're on the ground and you press the hover key, so normally when you hover, you use that fuel bar on the left to stay in the air. If you're on the ground, you spend a huge chunk of it and go whee.
Basically equivalent to about a quintuple jump or thereabouts.
Probably a triple or quadruple. You're going up. But
it's like holding the jump. It's like playing Project MSX and you hold the jump key.
Pretty much. You could... I think my standard may be... No. It's not going to be that high. I was going to say high enough to reach that. That's crazy.
How about from ground floor, you're able to... No, you can do that already with a double jump. Like on ground floor in map 9, right?
Yeah.
In the room where you find the pain elementals, you can jump up into that alcove up there.
Or here's another idea. You can get from ground level in the pit, you can get up to any of the 4 ledges.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I think so too. And that would be an upgrade.
Like you're in the starting pit where the blue armor is, you can get out of the mud onto any of those areas.
Yep. That would be the second upgrade in the blue tier, because you have to get the levitator first, and then you can get the launch boots.
You could probably also incorporate a few other new passive upgrades instead of the dud boxes too.
I could, and I've been trying to think of those. No DR.
No. I wasn't suggesting any. I wasn't gonna.
I'm just busting your balls.
I know. If there would be anything granting a permanent DR, I would say it will be in the purple box. Basically grant like one of the armor upgrades from like up your arsenal, and it gives like at most a permanent 25% DR buff at most.
At most.
And you have to work for it. But no.
Yeah, no. Could also be a I'm trying to think. I had some other ideas. I don't want to do a triple jump. As fun as that might be.
You don't want to pull an Unreal Tournament 2004 and allow a quad jump either.
If I don't want a triple jump, I don't want a quad either. No. No, that would be stupid. What if the throw was an upgrade?
No. Don't do that as an upgrade. The box breaker!
Someone hit the floor
Crouch
and
out of it, jump in the air, and double tap crouch or hit some other key. Hold melee in the air, or do something else like that, and you drop straight down, massive shockwave around you, major knockback to enemies, does mild damage.
So basically you want the ground pound from Nightmare Reaper.
Effectively, yeah, but you could reframe it as the box breaker.
You know what? Let's see what we can do.
And you're gonna still let the barrels to boxes mutator stay around, right?
100%.
Damn Skippy. Gives it a little bit more authenticity.
Yep. And I might change the wording of it as, just, I don't know, change the wording of it so you're selecting barrels or boxes as opposed to on or off.
I call it crate and barrel mode.
Yeah.
Or you could also include a third option. Mix them up.
Could do that too. Definitely.
Mix in, say, supply barrels, fire barrels, supply barrels, and explosive barrels in there.
Plus crates.
And those drop, different things. Those drop, different things and behave much differently from the crates. Say, the explosive barrels, when they pop instantly, but they do not trigger a countdown when you touch them, for instance. The supply barrels, maybe they drop both bolts and ammo. But they're really rare.
Or health and ammo.
And the fire cans, well, they do exactly what it says on the tin.
Mm-hmm.
Except, obviously, the same rules for being immune to your own explosions apply here.
Right. Yeah, so many ideas, so little time.
You got a VOD for this, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
So there you go. There's the record of them all.
Thank you, Con. They cans do it.
Mm-hmm. They can stop wave do it.
Oh no. Anyway, we're at the end of the stream, but before we call it, I want to show y'all one nasty surprise that waits at the end of a playthrough in this. I took the liberty of completely rebuilding the Icon of Sin. You see that health bar, and you see that it's now dropping. Number 1, the Icon of Sin is a bastard. He's even more of a bastard here. So, he is invincible. The only way he takes damage is over time. He will shoot back at you. All the while, you're fighting these dudes. And that green glow with the Geiger counter ticking, that ain't just for show. With God mode disabled, if you get close to that, you'll be dead in a couple of seconds. The only thing you can do is fight.
You might want to You might want to disable God mode to show him what you're on about.
You don't look so tough.
Ow. Just a shit ton of radiation damage. And again, you can't damage him.
I would at least try to make it to where you can do some damage to him, but he has extreme resistance. Like his damage factor against everything is like reduced to like 5% total output from any given damage type.
To the point that it's basically... Go ahead.
You can speed it along, but not by much.
And as you're trying to speed it along, you're getting attacked by all the things.
So it gives the player a bit more active agency in the fight, you know?
Yeah. By the way, on higher difficulties, these enemy spawns, number one, you're taking more time to kill them because you're not using V5 weapons for the most part. Number two, they're not supposed to drop XP. They're supposed to drop health and ammo to keep you alive. Number three, on higher difficulties, they're faster, so you're dealing with more things. It can get overwhelming really damn fast.
And replacing the melee fist with the wrench would at least get rid of those very human-looking arms, you know?
Yeah.
There's no Ratchet hands for Doom. That's the consequence of all that.
Yeah, no one's quite made sprites for that yet.
And that's why like say the mini turret gun is a launcher instead of a glove, because there's already multiple glove weapons, and you can only go so far as to represent them with a hand, you know?
Yeah, however, there is canon precedent for that. In Ratchet Deadlocked, it was a mini turret launcher.
Mini turret launcher, yeah.
We're almost done here. Oh, for fuck's sake.
But yeah, what do you think of like making him not completely invulnerable, but reducing the damage he takes to like 5% or 5 to 10% at most of the damage output of a weapon?
I'm not opposed to that at all, especially like when you have the Harbinger, you can actually use that to do pretty significant damage, considering the Harbinger's not terribly useful, and we win. The Harbinger's not terribly useful in the Icon of Sin battle anyway, because the arena is so huge.
And also, if you were a good enough and lucky enough shot to lob a heavy bouncer shell in there, a bouncer or heavy bouncer shell in there, that can hurt a lot.
Oh, yes.
Again, reward the player for doing good shots.
Or if you want to really take a risk, you would need the warp pad for this. You could get in there with, say, the Spitting Hydra, drop a huge amount of damage on him, and then beam out. But you can only do that once per minute. Oh! There's a potential idea. Give him iframes. So like you can get one good hit on him, but then you have to wait. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Brainstorming. There's more brainstorming to come. Tomorrow, though, we are going to be playing H3VR. Is going to be myself and Con, being a Tisming gunsmith about it. I look forward to it. By the way, he tends to play it heavily modded, which is quite fascinating.
On a scale of 1 to modded Balatro, how fascinating are we talking?
I can't answer that question. I don't know. But anyways, I've had the music muted this whole fucking time. Oops. Oh well. Oh, we have reached the end of today's stream. Again, tomorrow is going to be H3VR. Hopefully that works. Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be mod streams. We're actually going to start working on things, doing some coding, doing some testing. I encourage y'all to jump in and contribute thoughts, ideas. Tell me I'm an idiot because I'm doing something completely and utterly wrong, and you notice that my code is broken. And a lot of these modding streams are going to be pretty chill.
Mm-hmm.
When Thursday, there will be no stream. Friday or Saturday, one of those two. The plan is I am not going to be in the driver's seat because I am having a very, very special guest over for a few days while the rest of y'all fuckers are at Anthrocon. Khan is going to be hopping into the driver's seat to play Hot and Bothered for the first time. So we got that to look forward to. Apart from that, we'll be after that stream. We'll be back on Monday of the following week. We'll be back on July 7th to continue with mod work. And we'll mix it up occasionally with games and such, just to keep things lively. But anyway, let's see who we might raid into. Oh, who do we got on today? Oh, Sierra is playing VR chat. Blue is playing 7 Days to Die. I tell you what, I'm gonna pass y'all off to Sierra. Y'all say hi to her for me. And in the meantime, while that's kicking off, I'm just going to leave y'all with this sweet music. So until next time, I've been V, and Jamata.